He's on the side of Davis. Misses just.
Those combinations slow.
Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, start talking that, stop it. Knock it off, cuz. Stop it.
Gervonta Davis and Terence Crawford have gone from exchanging insults on social media to almost throwing punches. After Tank made a serious mistake by insulting Crawford and his family, Crawford didn't hold back. He promised to break his neck in response to the disrespect.
If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it.
While Crawford may not threaten Tank's neck this time, there's no doubt Davis would face serious consequences for his actions. Tank did respond, but many may have forgotten that Crawford isn't just a boxer. He has a wrestling background from his early years and knows how to handle himself in a street fight.
About no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break you.
Gervonta Davis's last word in the ongoing drama with Terence Crawford came in a now-deleted post on X, where he challenged Crawford to return to the welterweight division so he could move up and take on the former undisputed champion. The feud between the two has been brewing for a few days, sparked by Tank's frustration at not being invited to the Ring magazine gala. What followed was a heated exchange on social media, where both champions threw verbal punches, comparing their bank accounts and career accomplishments. The tension between Davis and Crawford started when Crawford seemed to react to Davis's frustration about not being invited to the Ring Awards, an event that celebrates the top moments in boxing. Davis took to social media to vent, even insulting some of the event's attendees. Though he quickly deleted his posts, the internet never forgets, and plenty of people had already taken screenshots. Crawford saw an opportunity to stir the pot and posted, "I see somebody mad they weren't invited to the Ring magazine gala." That comment was enough to push Davis over the edge.
Dips down below and lands a left uppercut, and then steps out of range.
Although Crawford pointed out that he wasn't invited to the Ring Awards either, Davis clearly took offense to Crawford's joke. Davis claimed he was making more money than Crawford, and the argument quickly turned into a competition over who had the bigger bank account. Their insults escalated, with Davis saying, "I still make more than you," while Crawford fired back, saying his legacy was about more than money, it was about making an impact in boxing. It's important to note that their rivalry goes back even further, as Davis had supported his friend Errol Spence Jr. during his feud with Crawford before their 2023 fight. The drama on X seemed to be dying down, but Davis wasn't finished. He posted a harsh comment, taking a low blow at Crawford by bringing up personal details that had nothing to do with the situation. "He's got 8 kids and a wife who's 380 pounds. Buddy's working overtime," Tank tweeted, then quickly deleted it. But, as usual, the internet saved the post. Davis faced backlash for dragging Crawford's family into the feud. Critics also pointed out that while Tank is fighting fighters like Lamont Roach, Crawford is facing tougher opponents and making real money. It seemed like Davis was insecure about not stepping up to face the top guys like Crawford. Davis crossed the line with that tweet, and as usual, he deleted his hurtful posts after throwing shots. Critics on X were quick to call out the 30-year-old for acting immature and hiding behind his social media. The truth is, Davis is focusing on his upcoming fight with Lamont Roach Jr., while Crawford might finally get the fight he's been waiting for with Canelo. We'll have to see if negotiations for that matchup stay on track. Davis challenged the idea that Crawford is trying to make history by aiming for a fight with multi-division champ Canelo Alvarez, which could give Crawford the biggest payday of his career. You all think he's chasing greatness? He's not. That's just what he has to do to make decent money, Davis said about Crawford. When talking about Gervonta Davis, it's important to note that he's known for his knockout power, which is said to be even greater than Crawford's. With 30 career fights, Davis remains undefeated, with 28 of those wins coming by knockout.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if you want to.
The power of Gervonta Davis's punches is well known, especially from the perspective of World Boxing Organization welterweight champion Brian Norman Jr., who has sparred with both Davis and Crawford. Norman's experience makes it clear how different these two top-ranked fighters are. Frank Martin, the 23-year-old who lost to Davis, is another example of Davis's punching power. Davis, who is undefeated with a record of 30 punches, down 28 knockouts, recently defended his WBA lightweight title by stopping Martin. Davis has often claimed he can knock out any opponent with a single punch, and believes he has become one of the most dangerous punchers in the lightweight division.
Santa Cruz can't push Davis into his nose, it looks like. There's a right hand, a right hook behind him.
The jab, because when he does that,
Here to be great. He can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes. And, you know, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Davis is known for his explosive power, often ending fights with a single knockout punch. In contrast, Terence Crawford, who holds an impressive record of 40-0 with 31 knockouts, has been dominating the welterweight division for the past 2 years. He recently moved up to junior middleweight, where he won a WBA title by outpointing Israel Madrimov. Crawford tends to take a more methodical approach, gradually wearing down his opponents before delivering the final blow. Yeah, and their rivalry isn't just limited to the ring. Social media has been filled with discussions about these two fighters as well.
Come up there.
You gotta come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him come and touch it.
Wow. Man.
When Davis backed Errol Spence Jr. against Terence Crawford, calling Crawford's chin glass, Crawford responded by challenging Davis to move up to 147 pounds and test his chin. Although their exchange didn't escalate into a major feud, the next big fight for Davis is likely to be against Shakur Stevenson, potentially next year. If they face off, it will be a battle of styles. Davis's knockout power versus Stevenson's defensive skills. Stevenson, known for his awkward counter-punching style, faced criticism in his last fight against Ardam Harutyunyan for being too lazy with his jab. This cautious approach could be a problem when facing a power puncher like Davis.
You got a glass?
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147.
Both Davis and Terence Crawford are exceptional fighters with impressive knockout records, but they have different styles. Davis is known for his ability to knock out any opponent with just one punch, making him a very dangerous and powerful fighter. Crawford, on the other hand, relies on a variety of punches and techniques to control his opponent throughout the entire round, wearing them down before going in for the finish.
Ooh, see, oh man.
You're gonna have a pre-camp.
Then what the people gonna say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
And that does not seem to be the case against definitely a more compact.
As both Davis and Stevenson continued their boxing careers, a future matchup between them is likely to grab the attention of boxing fans. However, this wouldn't be the first time Terence Crawford has taken a shot at Davis. After Crawford defeated Errol Spence Jr. and became the undisputed champion, he heard Davis claim that he could beat Crawford at 147 pounds.
Gave a little prediction on the fight, talked about Errol has a metal shield and you have a glass shield. Talk about the punch resistance. What do you think it takes to test it, man?
Speaking on The Breakfast Club, Terence Crawford acknowledged Davis's skills in the ring, but made it clear that there are different levels in boxing. He downplayed the idea of Davis coming up to 147 pounds and easily knocking him out, saying Davis has another thing coming if he thinks that. While a fight between these two American boxing stars might never happen, Crawford has his eyes set on just one fight ahead. The one against Canelo Alvarez.
Definitely a more compact.
The left uppercut was the punch for Davis in this fight. Against the tall...
Gave a little prediction on the fight, talked about Errol has a metal shield and you have a glass shield. Talk about the punch resistance. What do you think it takes to test it, man?
Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis are currently in different weight classes, separated by 3 divisions, but they've both competed in the same classes in the past. Crawford started his career at lightweight, where Davis is now a world champion. Crawford went on to become undisputed at super lightweight, a division where Davis has also claimed a title. Crawford then moved up, clearing out the welterweight division before making his debut at 154 pounds last year. Meanwhile, Davis stays at 135 pounds, holding the WBA world title and knocking out every challenger. The powerful Baltimore fighter has said in the past that he could knock Crawford out, though he may have been joking. However, Crawford, the bigger man, has warned Davis not to bite off more than he can chew.
I mean, you came up from 35, right?
He ain't fighting no No real guys at 47.
See, okay. What about everyone's talking about Errol fighting?
Although a fight between Crawford and Davis seems unlikely, some believe it wouldn't be an easy win for Crawford. In an interview with Real Life Productions, multi-division world champion Roy Jones Jr. called it a good damn fight, clearly thinking it would be a competitive matchup if the two met just below the welterweight limit. He gave Davis a real chance, pointing out, "I don't see anyone beating Bud unless they're much bigger than him. But don't overlook the fact that if he and Tank fought around 145, that's a good damn fight."
But Crawford, on the other hand, I don't see nobody around that's gonna be a beat Bud unless somebody way bigger than him. But don't sleep on the fact that
both Crawford and Davis are known for their high boxing IQs, but Davis stands out for his explosiveness. According to Roy Jones Jr., that's something Errol Spence lacked, and it's a key trait that can take a fighter far. Jones believes explosiveness keeps opponents on guard. While Crawford continues his pursuit of a fight with super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez, which would require a 14-pound weight jump, Davis is focused on his upcoming fight. Tank will face Lamont Roach Jr. in March, and according to his latest press conference, plans to retire by the end of the year. Fans of Davis can look forward to his clash with Roach Jr. on March 1st at the Barclays Center.
if him and Tank fought at about 145, that's a good daggone fight. You understand me? That's a good damn fight. You understand me? Because they both have very high IQs, and Tank is very explosive. That's the one thing. Tank got the early
in the ring.
While Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez seem set to fight this year, Gervonta Davis has now entered the conversation. Reports say Crawford and Canelo have agreed on a deal for their mega fight, which will bring together two of the sport's top pound-for-pound fighters. However, Davis stirred the pot with a series of strong accusations and harsh words, including insulting Crawford's wife in a now-deleted post. The two went back and forth, arguing over who has earned more throughout their careers.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look? 147? 147. I kept that trend.
First thing a dumb rich person says to another rich person is, I got more money than you, I bet you I own more investments than you, and I don't owe $1 in taxes. He wrote, you can't buy anything. I can't buy that I want, and that's a fact. Let's see whose money lasts the longest. Smart guy. Firing back, Crawford deemed Davis downplaying his wealth as dumb, being that both are multi-cylinders and live comfortable lifestyles. He also inferred that Davis's finances could potentially dwindle with time, while his will continue to grow as he's invested his money wisely. Tank refuted the notion that Crawford's money is in the same ballpark as his own, simultaneously showing signs of disrespect toward the Nebraska native.
He want to sleep.
I already know. I already know who he is.
Got no chance.
I already know who he is.
Said no chance.
I got round 5.
Davis fired back at Crawford, saying the typical rich person insult. I've got more money than you, I own more investments, and I don't owe $1 in taxes. You can't buy anything I can't buy, and that's a fact. Let's see whose money lasts longer. Crawford responded, calling Davis's comments foolish, pointing out that both are millionaires with comfortable lifestyles. He suggested that while Davis's wealth might fade over time, his own would continue to grow because he's making smart investments. Davis, however, rejected the idea that Crawford's wealth even compares to his, while showing clear disrespect toward the Nebraska fighter. Davis fired back at Crawford after he criticized the super welterweight champion, claiming he was downplaying his status. Davis responded by saying, "You're just talking crazy now. If you didn't know, they were calling me before you even got here, and they still are. Meanwhile, you're stuck in the same place, still doing what you're told. You're just wasting time."
Yeah, I got round 6. And I got a metal shield. And the opposite person got a glass shield.
Here, Garcia blocked.
Unfazed, Crawford responded, pointing out that his average fight paycheck is higher than Davis's. He called out Davis for talking about fighting Ryan Garcia, adding, "That's why you're still talking about fighting Ryan again, because you're not making more than me." Crawford made it clear that despite Davis's fame, he's been earning more for his fights.
Sad. Yeah, but how much he run around once them hands get on him, it's gonna slow him down. And once definitely if he touch him.
Mike Coppinger, an ESPN boxing reporter, backed up Crawford's claim, revealing that Crawford earned more from his fights against Israel Madrimov and Errol Spence than Davis has from 3 of his last 4 fights, excluding his bout with Ryan Garcia. Coppinger pointed out that Crawford's earnings from those fights were significantly higher compared to Davis's matches with Frank Martin, Hector Luis Garcia, and his upcoming bout with Lamont Roach. Second, however, neither Crawford nor Coppinger confirmed whether Crawford's net worth is actually higher than Davis's.
Legacy nor greatness with Bud, which is why he resorted to talking money. Then, when Terence Bud Crawford came out and checked Gervonta in that department as well, by stating, quote,
who has made more money in their career, Terence Crawford or Gervonta Davis? The short answer is that only a few people really know, and none of them will give a clear response. Industry insiders like pay-per-view network executives, promoters, and managers have the real answer. While the official number isn't public, there are opinions and facts to consider. ESPN's Mike Coppinger believes Crawford has earned more, largely due to his high-earning pay-per-view bouts, especially his fight against Errol Spence Jr. in 2023 and his match against Israel Madrimov in August 2024.
Make an opening for a right hand.
Hey, little guy, don't speak too soon because you definitely not making more money than me fighting who you've been fighting. That's why you talking about fighting Ryan again. But
Bill Davis had one major pay-per-view event, which was his impressive TKO victory over Ryan Garcia in April 2023. Still, Davis is undeniably one of the biggest draws in boxing, and his pay-per-view earnings are significantly higher than Crawford's. While Crawford may be more respected among fellow fighters, Davis has more mainstream popularity, which is often a better indicator of earning potential and financial success. Many people will look at a fighter's purse totals, but industry insiders, like managers, promoters, trainers, and seasoned fans, know that these figures only tell part of the financial story. Traditionally, fighters have earned the most money by selling pay-per-view events, especially if they reach a high level of popularity. However, Al Heyman has changed this model by offering fighters guaranteed money, separate from pay-per-view sales, for those who work with him.
Bud is referring to Gervonta asking for $150 million to fight Ryan again at 140 in the division. Ryan is not going to move back down to again.
Floyd Mayweather's team claims that Davis now earns 8 figures per fight, which seems reasonable given his popularity. However, it wasn't always like that for the lightweight champion. To truly understand the financial side of this rivalry, we need to look at when Davis reached this level. Crawford, at 37, turned professional in 2008 and became a world champion in 2014. Davis, who's 30, began his career in 2013 and won his first world title in 2017.
Gervonta to be calling out Ryan, a fighter no one is asking Gervonta to fight again. We asking Gervonta to fight.
Crawford has been competing at a championship level for a longer period than Davis, giving him an edge in terms of experience. Championship bouts and headlining events usually lead to bigger paydays, so from a career-long perspective, Crawford might have the advantage. However, Davis's popularity is undeniable, as shown by his 7 million Instagram followers and 7.8 million followers on X. In comparison, Crawford, who's been a public figure longer and is more active on Instagram, has only 8 million followers on X and 468K on Instagram. While social media following isn't the only factor in earnings, it has become increasingly valuable in the entertainment industry, boosting earning potential like never before.
Who doesn't want to do VADA testing? Who doesn't want to do any rehydration calls? Matter of fact, he doesn't even want to make weight. We all know Gervonta is not going to agree to any of that. In fact, leading up to there...
While Lamont Roach Jr. is a legitimate world champion, he doesn't have the same name recognition or fan base that could help Davis attract the kind of pay-per-view audience needed to match Crawford's earnings. If Davis wants to keep making big paydays, he'll need to fight top names like Vasyl Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, and possibly Keyshawn Davis if he keeps winning. If Davis stays outside of Al Heyman's expanding group of fighters, it could become harder for him to find high-profile matchups that deliver big paydays. And that's all for now. For the latest updates on boxing news, moments, and events, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications. Catch you next time.